How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another kind of Red Dead Online / GTA Online video. My name is Saintsfan, and today I want to have another little discussion with you guys, mainly about GTA Online, but we are going to be talking about Red Dead Online and what Rockstar, the head of Rockstar, actually said about Red Dead Online and what they plan on doing with it going forward. The main question I want to ask and sort of discuss is what the title is. Should GTA Online add some role-playing jobs like Red Dead Online is doing? So if you don't know, a couple days ago, Rockstar released a new update to Red Dead Online, and on the Newswire post discussing this update, they mentioned in the future, over the summer, they're going to be releasing these sort of role-play jobs. The three that they're going to be releasing right off the bat is a bounty hunter, a trader, and a collector. Now, at first thought, you may be thinking that, okay, that sounds kind of similar to what we have in GTA Online. That kind of sounds like the VIP, the MC, the CEO, right? Like, it's probably going to be something similar. But they actually did a pretty in-depth interview talking about some of these things. And it sounds like these new roles that are going to be added to Red Dead Online are way, way more complicated or complex and have way more depth than the CEO, the VIP, and the MC. And that's kind of what I want to talk about. I will, of course, leave a link to the interview in the description. The head of Rockstar North was interviewed about Red Dead Online, and that's who is giving these answers, so these are definitely valid. Now, before we get into the discussion, let's actually take a look at that interview and see some of the answers that were given by the co-head of Rockstar North. Starting with this paragraph, it says, Take-Two shareholders undoubtedly want Rockstar to do everything it can for Red Dead Online to emulate GTA Online. But Rockstar has more ambitious plans to take the game in a new direction and make it distinct from GTA Online's crime-driven focus. Red Dead Online will always offer an outlaw fantasy for those who choose it, but Rockstar also has grand visions for growing the mode beyond combat encounters. He says, We want to build something with Red Dead Online that feels authentic and right in the world of Red Dead. You know, you do things that maybe wouldn't make as much sense or wouldn't be available in the GTA world. And then he talks a little bit more about the roles. The roles aren't meant to be a temporary progression path. Rockstar built each of these roles with expansion in mind. Whereas you started immediately as a CEO of your illegal business in GTA Online, the road to potential riches is a much longer journey in Red Dead Online. What we're doing with this game is asking, what are the steps involved if it took you months, years, or whatever to get to that? What would it be for you to start your business in your camp to becoming a Leviticus Cornwall and owning a railway or mine? This approach gives Rockstar the freedom to tap into a lot of different Western fantasies. Perhaps the honorable bounty hunter eventually becomes a lawman. Maybe the successful trader eventually expands her business into a St. Denis storefront. The door is open to expand and evolve these roles continually. And then the final thing that was interesting was them talking about what else they could add to Red Dead Online. They say the ranching and farming mechanics from the epilogue are ripe for conversion, as is building a homestead, running a riverboat gambling enterprise, or leading archaeological digs. These careers could be diverse enough to draw in fans of the single-player mode who were turned off by the current focus of the competitive multiplayer online, and even attract the audience currently obsessed with the GTA RP scene. And that's very important. We'll get into that in a second. But the hope is that these unique roles encourage players to intermingle in interesting ways, even those more inclined to keep to themselves. The overarching philosophy is why Rockstar is so apprehensive to introduce elements like a passive mode that walls off players from each other, or free aim servers that split the player base. It would be easier, the head of Rockstar North says, for us to do that than we're trying to do here, which is allow people to still feel like they're existing in the world that has an element of Wild Westiness to it, and not completely make it two experiences. If we can't get the balancing right, then we can always do that. But what we're trying to do is allow people to, however they want, to play the game interact with the world and still feel like they're all a part of the same world together. Where we think it works best and when it's the most fun is if you are actually able to role play in this world to a certain degree. So that is straight from the head of Rockstar's mouth. Role playing sounds fun. And I've been saying this for a while now, and there's a lot of people out there who like the sort of RP aspect, going back to the GTA RP scene that is still really popular on Twitch. So with that being said, since Rockstar is adding role-playing jobs to Red Dead Online, that leads us to the question I want to discuss: should GTA Online do the same? Now, I guess one of the issues with GTA Online is that there's kind of a lot already in the game, and if they added something where you actually had a role play through the steps and ladders to get to the top, it might not be as popular as just, oh, I'm just gonna become a CEO. I mean, I don't think that would be an issue, but that's probably something, if you wanted to throw a negative out there, that you could. Because look, new gameplay, I'm all for it, right? But I really hope this is their attitude going forward with maybe GTA 6 Online too, because I think that makes things way more interesting. Let's say in GTA Online, if instead of just, paying $1 million for an office to become a CEO, you had to actually go, maybe there's an NPC character you had to work for, do some missions for him, get enough experience under your belt to then step up in the ladder. Then you're like maybe the head of something, still got to do some more missions, and then you just keep working your way up until you finally become the head CEO. That would have been way more interesting, and the longevity of that DLC would have been way longer if you actually had to progress through it. Same thing for the MC Club. They could have added some NPC bikers to the game, and then you join their club, but then you got to do some missions, you got to do some crazy stuff for the head guys, and eventually you work your way up the ranks, and boom, now you're the head MC. I mean, really the perfect example of how this could work so well in GTA Online is a cop DLC. Instead of a hypothetical cop DLC where you just buy a police car and some sort of property, and hey, look, now you're like a head cop. You would actually have to go to the police station, maybe apply, maybe there's like an actual test you have to complete. It wouldn't be too hard, but you'd have to complete it to get your license and all that. Then you have to start from the bottom and then work your way up, doing maybe harder and harder missions as you go. Maybe it's just me, but that sounds way, way more fun than kind of what we have now, where it's just, you buy the thing and boom, now that's it. Like for import and export, maybe they could have had it where you actually had to go and compete in like certain races. It was also very interesting at the beginning of what he sort of mentioned as to the reason why there is no true passive mode in Red Dead Online, and why there is no invite-only lobbies and free public lobbies, or wherever he said, like the free aim lobbies. Because by doing all that, you're splitting up the base into different sections, where if it's just one giant lobby that everyone has to join, if this role-playing stuff does work out, then that's a lot of people actually interacting with each other. A lot more people probably interacting with each other. So that actually kind of made me look at things a little bit differently. Like, I guess that makes a lot of sense. Like, I would much rather them do that and have no other lobbies for that reason than to just not have other lobbies because they want people buying shark cards or whatever the case may be. And they've actually done a lot to combat griefing as well. So these lobbies that you can only get into, they're not that bad if you don't want them to be. And bringing this all back to the question to GTA Online, there's two questions really. Should they do it? And that's sort of for the community to answer. And will they actually do it? And that's sort of for Rockstar to answer. Clearly, they realize there's a huge aspect of people who like the RP aspect of GTA Online and of Red Dead Online, of the worlds they create. And as evident with Red Dead Online, they are trying to capitalize on that. So maybe it's only a matter of time until they do the same with GTA Online. So that is the discussion for the day. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you all for listening to me, and watching the video. Please drop it a like if you did enjoy. Let me know your thoughts. I probably already said that in the comment section below. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.